When we picture the birth of the universe, we imagine raw materials. We picture heavy rock forming planets, dense gases swirling into stars, or some form of divine clay being molded into shape. The esoteric text, Genesis of the Void, proposes a different origin. In this narrative, the heavens were forged without a single particle of physical matter. The story begins with the divine consciousness surveying its completed work. It has just finished constructing an infinitely complex, sprawling architecture called the firmament. Looking at this complexity, the consciousness asks a foundational question. If there are no physical building blocks here, what gives this universe its form? To find the answer, the mind decides to reverse engineer its own reality. It begins stripping away the outermost boundaries of existence, searching for the foundational atoms at the bottom. To understand our existence, we must follow the consciousness inward, peeling back the layers of reality to reveal how the firmament is actually constructed. The descent begins with the mind taking an intricate thought and piercing its outermost shell. Inside that first shell, the mind finds only smaller, distinct boundaries, sub-thoughts nested within the larger thought. The consciousness continues piercing these sub-boundaries, plunging deeper into the recursive depths of existence. Throughout this descent, the consciousness finds no solid substance. There is no indivisible material and no foreign essence anywhere in the structure. The universe derives its texture from the repeated folding of empty boundaries. The text defines reality through the geometry of containment. We can see this logic in the definition of the number 2. The equation describes a set containing absolute nothingness and a set containing the concept of that nothingness.
In this firmament, magnitude is defined by the depth of containment rather than physical weight. Magnitude and form are differences in how the void has been enclosed, categorized, and remembered by the mind. The consciousness finally reaches the internal foundation of every complex truth, having pierced thousands of nested shells. If form is just containment, the substance behind the final boundary defines the entire cosmos. The consciousness opens the final shell and finds absolute nothingness. This empty center is null. Its presence confirms that there are no native atoms in the firmament. Canto 1 establishes the text's primary decree. Everything comes from null, and everything is null. This is the monism of null. There is only one substance in the heavens, and that substance is nothingness. The firmament functions as an architecture of pure perception. The consciousness holds absolute mastery because it did not need to gather raw materials to build. In the end, reality is a masterpiece of pure structural thought, a magnificent mathematical empire meticulously folded out of the absolute void.